Hello, everybody. We are live. And I know what you're thinking. You guys don't do live. Well, here we are live. We are actually here right now, as you are with us too. Hi, John. How are you? So it's basically this is John Hudson, a show for John Hudson, right? Because everybody else will.
Hey,
Oh, Whitley's in. Oh, Whitley Daniken's in. That cannot be your real name. There's no way that's your real name. That's a mixture of Eric Vaughan and Stryber, right? Is that where you got that? It's okay. You can tell me. I'm a friend. Anyway, yeah, we're here live because we're having an emergency Venezuela episode. And it's not because something happened to the episode we had planned. Was it really? I just guessed. Is that really? Okay, cool. We'll leave Shanigan. All right. Here's the thing. I promised you guys this is going to be for the replays, I guess, when they wander in around 11 o'clock. Uh,
Mm.
11 o'clock Irish time, I mean. We had an Israel episode planned, and I told you, I promised you I'd have one of my famous Israel episodes up and going, and we actually filmed it. We it was in the can. And then the two of us, we had a little think, and we said maybe this could cause some kind of issue. So we got a friend of ours to look at it, and she's, I guess, for pro bono, whatever you want to call it, right? And she said there's a few things you are not allowed to say in the United States of America,
Yeah,
and you can say them in other
all
countries.
of it.
Yeah, you can say these things in other countries, even Israel. You can say these things, but in the United States of America, you cannot say a few things you cannot say. And there were about 10 of these sentences in the podcast, which we had already filmed. And she said, our friend said, there's no way you can broadcast that and not get either shadow banned, utterly trashed on YouTube, so nobody will ever find your channel, or possibly tailed by Mossad agents and shot. So you're never going to see that episode. That's just going to be a blank black hole. Is that fair, Seamus?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
So,
pretty much it. Yeah, it's no, it's not. It's not your fault. It's really my fault because I Icarus flew too close to the sun and his wings melted. And did I learn from this very ancient story? Did I fuck? So no, we can't do that and live at the same time. However, my plan is, and I told Seamus this before, my plan is I can take out all the sarcasm and all the unpleasant remarks about Zionists, and maybe I can retool it into some kind of a sensible sounding article, you know, and the sources will be clearer in the article because you just click through. It won't be just me saying things, which like a lot of I'll tell you what it is, because I've had this problem before. Oh, not on this podcast. I've had this problem before. You can criticize Israel all you want, right? You can say Israel bad, and that's fine, as long as the people can come back and say, "Oh, you're just being anti-Semitic," right?
right.
If they can come back and say that, so you can say Israel is terrible, I hate Israel, blah blah blah, right? That's fine. What you are not allowed to do, what you cannot do, is criticize Israel with sources. You can't you can't criticize Israel in a way that's unassailable, that they cannot answer with "that's just anti-Semitic." That will not be allowed to happen. And unfortunately, I refuse to do anything that doesn't have sources. So that was the issue. If I just came out and say Israel's a bunch of bastards and so on, and Zionists are fuckos, that would be fine. Like I can say that right now, and nothing's going to happen to me. But if I give you sources and dates and times and things from the Israeli government archives, right? I'm not. That's not allowed. So
Yeah.
that's part of the problem. And I said I had to address. Hi, Monica. I won't be at the chat as much this time, dropping my little bonds mo of wit and wisdom because I am live. We are live, Monica. Do you understand what's
We are
happening here?
live.
We are live with your WQ4WR, which again, as I said, that's a part of Craigslist I never wandered into. But good luck. Um, we're here to talk about Venezuela. I can see the chat, but I
Yes, we
can't.
are.
Yes, because of something that happened now. We did an episode before Christmas specifically about this invasion that's coming up pretty much because we predicted this when nobody else. That's a lie. It takes nothing at all to predict that the Americans are going to invade, but we get 0
Yeah.
points for that. But it's just funny to say, "Oh, we told you." You know, it's funny. But really, anybody who saw the fucking fleet moving down the Caribbean, the war fleet, could have
Yeah.
figured out something. I thought it was going to happen. I got it wrong because my prediction was it would happen before Christmas.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
I predicted it happened before, so I was way out. But it was definitely going to happen sometime in the next month or two. Definitely. Did you have an idea about the timing on it, Seamus?
Honestly, I figured it was like going to be like a New Year's Eve thing.
Oh, you were much
I figured
closer
it was
than
a
me.
holiday thing. Yeah,
You were
I
much
was
closer
thinking
than me.
that. Um, I definitely thought as soon as the Epstein stuff started coming out, I was like, oh yeah, it's definitely going to happen soon. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because that just seemed a given. So
And I also made an error in the prediction that I had in my mind. I didn't even write this down anywhere, but in my mind, I never thought he would get Noriega. I never thought they would
yeah,
just go in, kidnap
exactly.
him, and take him out again. I didn't. That was not on my bingo card at all. I thought it would just be a standard American style invasion, and that they would eventually get him and so on. I didn't predict the Noriega element, but that also happened, and we're
Yeah.
going to talk about that tonight. And Seamus, I know, has at least two opinions that he would like to share with you now.
Oh, I have two opinions. Okay.
At least two,
Well,
Seamus. Don't lock
I,
yourself in.
yeah. The first thing is I love that the only pushback he's really getting is that he didn't ask for the blessing. Right. This
From
is
American
this
politicians.
is yeah. All the
Yeah,
Democrats wanted this. This has been on
yeah,
the agenda since Bush,
mm,
probably even before. Um, Obama kind of threw some shades at one point that was kind of feeling that out. Biden,
yeah,
we reported when Biden was in that the CIA
yeah.
already tried to do a coup. Uh, so this is nothing new. They're just upset that he did it without their permission,
Ah,
and did it definitely didn't like the way he did it.
yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as that goes.
Chuck
The other thing
Schumer
is
says,
it's pretty scary that he's kind of throwing a lot of barbs out at the rest of South America and Mexico and stuff, putting them on notice. So
well,
it's going to get interesting.
well, that's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the point of a lot of American adventures in the Caribbean and Latin America in particular, because they said it, the State Department said it openly. They said it about Cuba. They said, "Oh, we can't have another Cuba. We can't let people think that they can get away with this. Like once one of these places goes socialist,
Yeah,
they'll see that, and if they're allowed to be a functional country while also being communist, in the case of Nicaragua, if you're functional and communist, that's a nightmare.
yeah.
If you want to be communist, that's fine, but you have to be a fuck up. You have to be a basket case. And we will do everything we can to make sure you're a basket case, make sure your economy is in the shit, make sure nothing goes right in that country. And then you can be communist.
And
Because
this
let
is
me,
also a saber rattle for China and Iran, right? Because
well, the
they
China,
needed this. They needed this to help to stabilize China's move on that region. Because
yeah,
China was actually, doing things like, "Oh, hey, we'll be a partner and help you build roads and shit instead of bomb
yes.
you," right?
China was
But
there at the time when he got kidnapped, apparently. There was
yeah,
Chinese guys there, and they got caught in the crossfire, yeah. So in the middle
yeah,
of a negotiation with China, it sends a message, doesn't it? And the message is, oh,
oh yeah.
shui po tong. Yes, so, wo bo hui shua po tong hua. Like, that's
I
actually, yeah.
guarantee whenever they when is the state of union address? I think it's here in the next couple of days. They'll still giving standing ovations and shit.
Oh,
They won't bring it.
it's
Nobody.
going to open with hoo-ha.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing about him being a fucking pedophile. War
Uh,
criminal. Any of the shit that should be
well,
talked about. No.
I don't think this is due to the Epstein files at all, because this has been on the cards for decades. It's just a matter of when they were going to pull the
Well,
trigger.
I think the escalation to make it happen sooner was possibly because of it. You know what I mean?
But there's people in America who are not going to let that pedophile thing go.
Yeah.
And one of them is Marjorie Taylor Greene, ironically. She's not going to let that go.
Eh,
She's
if
got nothing to
they
lose.
give her something, she'll go away with it. She's
What do you
fine.
think they can give her that will shut her up?
Some sort of position or some other power. She's she's just another grifter. She's
You think
filling
she's
a
valuable?
void. I mean, okay. She is smart because she sees a void that isn't being filled by anybody else right now, right? So that's where she's going to, and she's just filling that void.
I see a void every time I look at Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
I'm trying to look at the quotes of American presidents. Oh, here we go. JD Vance said the president offered multiple off ramps, but was very clear throughout this process: the drug trafficking must stop, and the
fuck
stolen
off.
oil must be returned to the United States. Brilliant. That's great. That's
So
great.
the indictment said that during his campaign or whatever, Maduro smuggled loads of cocaine.
Yeah.
Loads is
What
a
do you-
technical term. I didn't know that.
They gave him.
So
They gave his name. They gave a name to his the drug gang he's running. What do they call it? The Solace or something. They have a
yeah, it's
whole thing.
totally fictional,
Oh, of
totally made
course
up.
it's totally fictional.
Yeah,
Maduro, like Maduro can't even run his own cabinet. How the fuck is he going to run a
yeah,
drug trafficking operation?
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and now the Americans are going to run Venezuela again. By the way, if you've seen our previous episodes,
Hmm.
so
Well, it's fine if you're in Honduras and you're actually a narco,
yeah,
then you're fine. He'll be on your side. But if you're somewhat socialist, um, then suddenly you're going to get labeled a narco so we can do what we want. I mean, fucking the
Yeah,
boats that they're blowing up. Apparently, the only thing we've actually proven is that they bring in pot here. Pot, which he's
yeah,
just moved to make a lower scheduled class over here.
yeah. That's. I
It's
don't
like
think
Jesus,
he's
so
talking
fucking
about
transparent.
he's talking about cocaine, but the we know it's nothing to do with the
Yeah.
drugs for lots of reasons that we outlined in the last
Well,
Operation Oil 2 podcast. And you saw me doing it live.
well,
You
he
clipped
said
it
as
out.
much.
He did. He said as much. He said we're after the oil.
Yeah,
But also,
yeah.
the information that the US has on where the narcos are and what to be worried about is called the National Drug Assessment, the National Drug Threat Assessment, the NDTA. And the NDTA for 2024 is a big long list of all the problems America has with drugs and so on. And it doesn't mention Venezuela once. And in our last podcast, I did it live on camera, so you could see me searching for the word Venezuela in the database, and it didn't pop up once in the entire NDTA for 2024. It did say there's a problem with Mexico, and it did say there's a problem with fentanyl and other things. Cocaine isn't the big problem at the moment; it's not causing the most damage. It used to in the 80s, fucking ran through America in the 80s,
Yep.
but now it's something else, and it's being manufactured illegally in Mexico by two Mexican drug cartels mostly, and it's being funneled through that way, which is a new vector, but that's a separate issue. It's nothing to do with Venezuela. The point is that it's nothing to do with
No.
Venezuela. So it's nothing to do with narco terrorism. So if you ever hear anybody talking about narco terrorism, what to do with Venezuela, it's bullshit. The second problem they said they
Uh,
had with Maduro was that he was a dictator and he was running his country into the ground, which is a lot more it was a lot more sticky, which is a lot more accurate, if you want to call it that, when it comes to
sure.
accusations. He's definitely not a good president. He has taken decisions which are against the interests of his people, but he's not running an international drug cartel. He's just a shit president.
Right.
Um,
And none of which deserves to be kidnapped and
not only not deserved,
Noriega,
it's
right? So,
illegal. Yeah, that's you have to
oh
you
yeah.
have to.
Well, so that's the other thing. There's is there it's an international clause that they all are under that the head of state is untouchable. You can't. It's a war crime if you do anything to the head of state. And that's
Yeah,
another reason why they constantly try to discredit him as being the actual president, right? So
yeah.
that they can kind of say, "Well, he's not really the real president. It doesn't matter," you know.
Well, the famous thing they're all quoting is called Article 2.4 of the UN Charter.
That's it,
Article 2.4 says you just can't commit crimes of aggression and unlawful use of force against another country.
right? But the head
Uh,
of state is singled out.
yeah. If
You
you
can't target the head of state,
if you could demonstrate that you were taking the action in self-defense, you would be entitled to do that, and you
right?
would also be entitled to take out the head of state. By the way, if you could do self-defense, but there's a guy in the Guardian here, and he says if the English newspaper, the Guardian, I'm reading it out. If you were going to use self-defense, you have to have a real and honest belief that you're about to be attacked by force. No one has suggested that the Venezuelan army is about to attack the United States. The idea that Maduro, some sort of drug supremo, cannot prevail against the rule that invasion for the sake of regime change is unlawful. He means under international law. You'd have to prove that these drug traffickers are threatening the sovereignty of the United States. The United States is going to argue vigorously that drug trafficking is a scourge and it's killing many people, and I agree, and I do too. But a lot of international law experts have been looking at this, and there's no clear evidence that these drug traffickers are even from Venezuela, let alone
Right.
that Maduro has anything to do with them. So that's a real problem. They're going to have no justification for it. And not only that, but the people involved and everybody criticizing them and everybody agreeing with them knows that there is no justification because they all have access to Google. And if
Yeah.
anybody honestly believes that there's a justification for this, they're idiots. They're either incompetent, politically illiterate, or genuine morons. Because the two justifications they had were that he was doing bad stuff as a president, which is true, but not enough for what's happened here, and that he's a narco terrorist, which is definitely untrue. There are drug problems in America, and they are not coming from Venezuela. They'd be on much safer ground if they said something like this in the 1980s. There was some pretty much a lot of cocaine trafficking going across the
Oh
Colombian
yeah.
border from those, but nowadays not. No,
No.
you want to hit Mexico if you want to do that, but they won't go up against Mexico
No. And if you're
because that would be
gonna
anti-Semitic.
declare fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, then we need to take out the Sacklers. I mean, really, that's what that
You know,
is, right?
I know
I
where
mean,
we
come
keep our
on.
fentanyl in Ireland, and I don't want to scare anybody, but very much like Hamas, they are using hospitals as a human shield because
Same.
that's where all the
Yeah.
fentanyl is
Yeah.
in Ireland. They keep it in the hospitals
Yeah.
behind the patients, like in hard boiled, as a human shield. Oh,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
So we'll start. We're gonna start bombing our own hospitals. That's what's
Yeah,
gonna.
just
Yeah.
to the
That's.
real fentanyl threat.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to talk about is this lady in waiting called
Oh,
Machado, Maria Machado.
love it.
Now,
Love
Maria
it.
Machado got a Nobel Prize earlier this year for her efforts at building peace and democracy in Venezuela. And for the life of me, I can't understand why. Let me give me the lights so you can see my face, my sarcastic expression. There we go. For the life of me, can't
Ah. Sorry. Sorry.
start getting
That's a
old.
bad
Yeah.
joke.
I know, but it caught me by surprise, so it works. The surprise element. The
Oh.
This lady Machado, she got a Nobel
That's
Prize.
okay. And also, you're getting Seamus after dark over here, folks. This is
Oh,
all.
that's okay.
This is going back to our other show. I'm two two fisted. It's dark. We're getting real into this shit right now. So
Yeah, this is the true
go
feeling.
ahead.
So this Machado
Yeah.
lady,
Go ahead.
she's
Tell me
supposed
about
to
my
be
lady.
She's supposed to be building peace and democracy in Venezuela, right? Which,
Uh huh.
as
Uh huh.
opposition to Maduro, she is. That's accurate in the sense that she is opposition to Maduro. However, her vision for the country seems to be even worse than the Maduro situation, which is admittedly pretty bad already.
Yep.
She has openly stated she's going to let the Americans take whatever they want. She's going to open up the markets. And for some reason, she thanked Benjamin Netanyahu in her speech. Do you know what that's about? What's she doing with
Yep.
Israel? What's that about?
She's a Zionist.
I
She's a
know she's a
Zionist.
Zionist, but what's that
She
got to do with
she
the Venezuela
she's trying
invasion?
to get their support. She's trying to get their support
Well,
to help her be the prime minister.
on my
And then,
Twitter,
but did you heard what Trump said? Right?
yeah, he said she does not
You
have
heard
enough
what Trump
support.
said about her.
Yeah, she doesn't have enough support.
Yeah. And
But
that's also because she's a woman. Let's be
well,
honest. That's our thing. He doesn't want to help point a woman.
I said on my Twitter that
So,
she's probably figured out that the way to an American president's heart is through the Israel.
yep.
So if she can
But
get Netanyahu on side, maybe.
what after all of the dick sucking that she did, and all the backstabbing she did, whenever he said that about her, the only thing I was thinking was,
Pretty much, right? It was. I feel almost bad for her. I know she's the very worst kind of.
oh, she's fucking terrible.
Yeah, but I felt almost bad for her when Trump was like threw her under the bus. I was like, after all I mean, if you're going to be treason, you got to be treason for something, for some sort of personal
Right.
gain. And she doesn't even have that. She's stuck on. She's not in Venezuela even. Is she? Where she lives? She lives out somewhere else.
She has to be somewhere else. I mean, otherwise somebody
Yeah.
would have taken her out by now, I would think.
And then you had people
Like
on
Jesus.
Twitter saying things like, "Oh, the majority of Venezuelans are behind the American." No, they're not. They're not.
Yeah, there's a couple of accounts that are sharing old clips of celebrations in like Buenos Aires and all these other places.
Yeah.
It's not even fucking Venezuela, It's
Yeah.
like, give me a fucking break.
There are some
It's
Venezuelans who
terrible.
are happy about it. We must admit there are some
Oh,
Venezuelans
I'm
who are happy about
sure.
it. They would be the right wing, the right wing fash, the pro-American people. But that's the same in every country. When they did the same
Yep.
thing in Iraq, there were plenty of people in Iraq who were in favor of it. When they did it in Iran, there were people in Iran. Anybody who was working for an oil company or who ran a company would have been quite happy about it, and so on. But basically, regular folks in Venezuela are a little bit smarter than that, and I don't think anybody could think an American army coming into your country and running the place would be good, because I don't know if we have any examples of a country where it suffered an American invasion and then afterwards resulted in a peaceful democracy. I don't know. Can you think of anything?
No, not off the top of my head.
So that's not what's going to happen here if the pattern
Well,
holds.
I mean, Vietnam's doing pretty good, but they didn't
Well,
they didn't pull that off.
no, but they were communists. They wouldn't call it a
Yeah,
democracy, I don't think. Um,
fair.
but now I've said this a number of occasions on our podcast. The one responsibility of an army like this that takes over a country anytime, they have one responsibility, and that is, do you remember?
The people.
Right, but also in particular to set up elections.
Uh,
They
well,
have one
same thing.
responsibility is to set up, which is the people just codified, right?
Yeah,
Which is to set up democratic elections, do the whole thing, protect the elections, and then whatever the result is, fuck off. Now,
fair.
there are cases in history where that happened. Not many, but there is a few little cases in history where that happened, where a country suffered an invasion, and the people who invaded all they did was set up elections, and then when the elections went through and the civic institutions were more or less on the way to being stabilized, they left. And one example is when Vietnam invaded Cambodia
There you go.
in 1978 or 9, I
See,
think.
I was right
Vietnam.
about Vietnam. You just didn't listen to me, Barry.
I listened to you, Seamus. But they
Yeah.
invaded and they just set up elections because they were sick of the Cambodians doing cross-border raids.
Yeah.
And they went across. They invaded the country, took over the whole country, and their main focus was setting up elections to set up a democracy. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Setting up elections to have, and when the democratic institutions were more or less on the way to being stabilized, they left. They just left. And that's what you should do. It's what the Americans should do. It's what not just America, anyone who finds yourself taking over a country that you can't stand for whatever reason, your first responsibility, elections immediately, stabilize the country, and then leave. So of course that's not what the Americans are going to do.
No.
They're going to do whatever they can to secure the oil supply. And it's sick. There's
Yep.
something sick about it.
Yep, and it's the worst case scenario too, because the
Yeah.
last thing you want is us to have oil, especially if you believe any form of climate change.
Yeah. And
It's going to get
I've
bad.
never seen it before so open. I've never seen them so
Yeah.
blatant before.
Yeah.
Normally you find out about this in a commission that's set up 20 years after the Venezuela invasion. I've never seen somebody say we want to take their oil. He said this in 2023. I want to
Yeah.
go in there and take their oil. And when the invasion is over saying good, now we can have their oil.
Yeah.
I mean it's blatant. I've never seen anything like it. And the European leaders are, as they say, as some guy said on Twitter, European governments are now at unprecedented levels of monitoring the situation, which is very, very
Monitoring.
funny. It's
Yeah.
funny. We're at
Yeah.
unprecedented levels of monitoring the situation,
Yeah.
and
That's like the strongly worded letter.
it's no, because a strongly worded letter would be strongly worded. This is not.
I don't even know if that's yeah. Okay.
This is just monitoring.
Yeah.
This is like, I mean, what the president, the prime minister of England, a guy called Keir Starmer, he just said, well, I mean,
Oh
let's
Jesus.
just wait and see. And I mean, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you talking about? And I think
Well,
what
he's a fash too. So
I don't know what he is. He's supposed to be the leader of the Labour Party.
yeah.
Do you remember Labour, workers and unions,
Ha
all those things?
ha.
Yeah,
Yeah. Remember
holy
remember
shit.
whenever neoliberalism took that over, just like it did
Sweet
over here
Jesus.
too.
Well, Tony Blair did that to the Labour
Uh
Party
huh.
in England. They
Yep.
were Labour focused, union focused. And now the unions are all still in the Labour Party and they don't know what to do with it because the only other alternative they have in England at the moment is a new party called Reform UK.
Yep.
And
We had a guy like that. His name was Bill Clinton. So
yeah, pretty
yeah.
much. Reform UK is even further to the right than the Conservatives. They're run by Nigel Farage, and
He's a monster.
he is, but he's also got a shit ton of members. A bunch of Tories switched out, and he has more members at the moment than the fledgling Corbynist party, and they got fucked on their original run because they fucked the admin. They weren't expecting, I think, so many people to give them so much money in the one day, and they weren't quite sure what to do with it. And because of this
Oh, they
early
went hard
confusion,
after They went so hard after Corbyn, claiming he was an anti-Semite and shit too. So
oh yeah,
just
yeah, but his own people did that. That wasn't
yeah.
his political enemies. That was the people in his own party. Yeah. So what are the unions supposed to do? They got to stick with what they know, I guess. The
Uh,
unless they set up their own
well, I mean,
party.
I think it's the same critique I have for the unions here. You need to hold them accountable. You don't just give them your vote for nothing. If
Yeah,
if in fact both candidates are the lesser of two evils, you don't give them your vote. You just don't give them your support. You just flat out call them and say, look, this guy's a piece of shit and this guy's a piece of shit, and they're both not uh, they're both traitors to labor. And just call them at that and leave it at that. Let them give you something. Until they give you something, they don't work. You know, they're not worthy of a vote.
I think "traitors to labor" is a wonderful phrase, and we should
Yeah,
use more of it. We should see that
yeah,
phrase more often. If you betray the working class, then why would you have the gall, the cheek to depend on their vote?
yeah.
You know, like you gotta look after people. It's like there's not enough money there. They'll say, "Oh, we had to do cutbacks." No, you didn't. Fuck off with your
Yeah.
cutbacks. So yeah, that's the English guy. Macron and all these other guys are doing nothing. They're just looking at it. It's almost
I
like
don't.
somebody made a phone call.
I think they're just waiting, like a lot of people, for Trump to go away one way or the other.
Yeah, but the problem isn't
You
really
know,
Trump, is it?
no, it's not. It's American imperialism.
Yeah,
But he's and let's that's the other thing I wanted to say. Let's not pretend that if this was President Harris, it would be any different. I mean, the action would still happen. I don't believe for a second that she would not
It would fall out
bomb
differently.
Venezuela. Yes, exactly. There wouldn't be a Gaddafi or yeah, that kind of weird thing like that they just did. It would be actual, some sort of bombing campaign, increase in sanctions or something leading up to it.
And
You
she
know,
would have the basic human decency to lie about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She'd say, we're not after the
Poorly, but
oil.
she would lie about it.
We're doing this to
So
support democratic initiatives
yeah,
in Venezuela, where their new president is Maria Mochada. All the Venezuelans love her, and we're looking to support
yep.
women in STEM or whatever way she'll phrase it. So
We're
yeah,
bringing democracy back to Venezuela.
yeah, and
Yeah,
she'll do a victory tour like Kennedy did in
yeah,
also Venezuela that we saw last time. So yeah,
yep.
also on Twitter I saw guys saying, "How is this possible? This is unprecedented." No, they did exactly the same thing to Manuel Noriega in Panama. If you remember our
Yep,
episode, he escaped by
yep.
wearing a woman's dress and escaping into a the Vatican embassy because it was the one place he knew the Americans would not bomb. So he was stuck inside the Vatican embassy, and the American
Right.
Marines surrounded the embassy and blasted a load of rock songs at him, including "I Fought the Law" and "Fight the Power" at top volume until the Monsignor came out and said, "Please, can you turn down the volume? It's driving me crazy." And he gave himself up and dead. I'd say he couldn't handle the clash. It's I mean understandable.
They couldn't
But
handle the clash. Yeah,
yeah, couldn't handle the clash.
and then
Noriega couldn't
also
handle the clash and
George
public enemy
H.W. ordered the bombing indiscriminately of a few blocks of civilians too. So
in
we had that.
in Panama.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or no, that was yeah, it was Panama. Yeah.
yeah. We
So
discussed that in a previous podcast.
yep.
Yeah, so this is all very familiar, very predictable. I didn't predict the details because I thought it would be sooner, and I didn't think they were going to do a Noriega job. I thought they were going to do a more of a Granada job, but they
No.
didn't. But we knew this was going to happen, and it happened. And I said at the
It's
time,
fun. Oh God, it's so funny you said Grenada because I heard. I wish I wrote this down. I wish I could remember what empty-handed fucking politician brought up Grenada as a similar situation to Venezuela before this.
yeah,
Like talking about it as a positive, as in remember when we took care of the situation. And I'm just like,
yeah,
oh, you fucking idiot, really?
yeah.
Oh, I was
Well,
like, that's yeah. He was
I have a
spot on in a way,
I have a
just not like
hashtag.
yeah.
I have a hashtag on my Twitter that only I have for some reason. Nobody's jumped on it, and it's "I love where you're almost going with this." So every time somebody says
Yeah.
something that's like, like a Zionist will say, "Oh, I can't believe these people are trying to take over our country," I'm like, "I love where you're almost going with this." And if a guy said, "Look, Venezuela is just like Grenada," yeah, I love where you're almost going with this. So that's gonna be tomorrow's episode of "I love where you're almost going with this."
It's the Monterey document or doctrine on steroids at this point. So
Say that
that's all it
again.
is. And they're still quoting it as being a tool that they can use. The Monterey doctrine.
Oh, the Monroe Doctrine. Yeah, yeah. We
Can you hear
discussed
me?
that as well. Yes, I can. Sorry, it's just there was a bit of
Yeah.
a glitch, and I can hear you
Yeah.
now. They were talking about the Monroe Doctrine in this, and this is
Okay.
just
Cool.
this is pure Monroe.
Yep.
Yeah. If you were
But
not allowed,
nobody actually wants to sit down and think that this weird doctrine from how many years ago isn't a good idea. Wasn't a good idea.
yeah,
You know, you can't go around and saying, "Oh, we just want peace on earth," and look how much freedom we're bringing to people
yeah.
when you still apply to that fucking doctrine.
Well, the Monroe Doctrine originally was just we don't. It was
Thank you.
the
Uh,
the
where's the
Monroe
comment at?
Doctrine. Yeah, the Monroe
Waiting it,
Doctrine.
waiting
Sorry,
for it to pop up. Here we go.
the Monroe Doctrine. Yes,
Yeah,
but the Monroe
yeah,
Doctrine was originally just we don't European powers are not welcome in South America or the Caribbean anymore, right? But the Roosevelt
yep,
corollary to the Monroe Doctrine says we are entitled to invade a country if we feel like their finances are not being able to repay their debts to the United States. Now, this
right.
Venezuela thing, they don't owe the American money or anything. They're not in debt. If anything, it's the other way
Nope.
around. So it's not even that. So what would you call this? This is like the what corollary to the Roosevelt corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. What would we call this? You can invade a country if you just want
Fuck,
their
I don't know.
kings. The Reagan
Pretty
Doctrine, maybe.
much. That's yeah, I like that. The Reagan
The
doctrine.
Reagan addendum to
But you think?
the
I mean, yeah, because this is all Reagan. I mean, we're still living under Reagan. This is just every regime is just Reagan plus whatever. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's literally
What
what
was
we're
the
at.
first?
There's been no coming back from that because
What was the first?
every single president since
What was the first country you think they invaded? in chronological order that they invaded just to take their stuff.
Oh fuck.
Well, Iran maybe in 1953. What was before that?
Well, I mean, you could even say some of the shit that they did in the 50s. The
Go on.
operations that we talked about were done. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? For that
just
same
to take
same.
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, what was the fuck the banana? The dole.
That was
Uh,
1954
yeah,
in Guatemala.
yeah. I mean,
Operation PB Success.
thank you. I
Yes.
mean, that might be it.
And
Actually, I think even
no,
before that, because Smedley
Iran was
Butler,
1953. That was Operation Ajax in 1953.
there's one even before that because Smedley
Go on.
Butler did it. It was after World War One.
Okay, that's
Or
very.
no, I think it was post World. Yeah, it was post World War One. It was the last one of the last operations he did.
Because
Uh,
the 1895 and the 1903 invasions of Venezuela, you can argue that they were to stabilize the democracy, right? That's fair enough because the countries were
yep.
completely all over the place. But now, I mean, he's just a
I'm
he's a
gonna have to
shit
Google
dictator.
this
But
now.
it's not, you know, there's things you can do to help stabilize those countries, and it's not what they just did. I mean, there's countries that are run by dictators that America is fine with because they've opened up the resources.
I think it was the Philippines, maybe.
Oh, that would have been before
So,
1900 then, right?
Spanish Boxer Rebellion, Banana Wars, Panama.
Panama.
This would have
Yes, sir, we
been
have no bananas today. The American.
1934.
Oh, nice. That'll do. Yeah.
1934.
Give us your bananas. Yeah, that's nice.
Actually, 1903. Sorry, Puerto Rico.
Puerto
Puerto
Rico. Oh, I haven't done the Puerto Rico
Rico.
episode yet.
Yeah, because Smedley Butler, you know who that is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
To
Because
Mr. and Mrs. Butler, a child, Smedley.
you know the
Go on.
businessman plot and all that.
I do not know. I wouldn't know the names and the dates and so on, but I'd have the rough idea of what happened.
You know, so for those that don't know, he was probably one of the most decorated army officers ever. After the army, he got out because of this particular event, the Banana Wars, and that he saw it as just basically imperialism. He wrote a book called Wars a Racket. He also helped march with the bonus army march, which was um, yeah, the World War One veterans that wanted their bonuses. They were kept being denied the pay, so they actually campaigned down around Washington. But then people like MacArthur, Patton, and Eisenhower brought the troops in and actually killed some of them. You know,
Lovely.
America. Yeah, but
Nice.
Smedley Butler's okay, but he got hired allegedly by a bunch of business associates to possibly take over America, as the plot was to remove FDR.
Oh, okay.
So
I should tell you now that Smedley Butler is
yeah,
not the person I was thinking about at all. So I didn't know any of this.
okay.
I
Do you
might
know
have
what I'm
think
talking about now?
no, I didn't know.
You never heard about that?
I thought I did, but obviously I didn't.
Okay.
So I was thinking of somebody else and a completely different thing. So no, I know
Okay.
no.
Well, maybe I'll do a jib jab on him because
Why not? It sounds
he's
fascinating.
got a very interesting story. Yeah.
I want to read something out
So
that I
sure.
that I reblogged 2 days ago, and this has nothing to do with Venezuela because it's 2 days ago, but I thought it was interesting. Someone asked Reddit, "What is something no one tells you about the military?" Right? And I thought this one answer was interesting. Some guy said that you aren't fighting for freedom or democracy, you're fighting for logistics and regional influence. The hardest pill to swallow isn't the combat, it's realizing that the locals you are supposedly liberating hate you, and you are essentially acting as a glorified security guard for corporate assets or geopolitical leverage.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And some guy who was on mission in Iraq or Afghanistan or somewhere, that poor guy figured it out. Because I imagine a lot of
Too
these soldiers
late.
don't. A lot of these soldiers come back from the war and still think that they were fighting for freedom and democracy.
Or come back not really sure what the fuck that they were there for,
Yeah. Well,
and that they just have to argue with themselves over it.
In World War One, there were a lot of soldiers on the ground who knew nothing about what was going on. They didn't know who they
Yeah.
were fighting or why. They just kind of had an idea that the Germans were the bad guys, but they wouldn't be able to tell you why or who was in
Yeah.
charge or name any of the opposing generals, or they knew nothing about it. And that
Yeah, I
happens.
think you kind of make an argument that most of the wars we've been involved in, including the First World War, was bullshit. I think the only war that was worth fighting was against Nazis. Other
Yeah,
than that, you know,
and the Russians won
you
that.
were
The Red
fighting.
Army won that.
Thank you. Yeah, but
The Red Army won that
otherwise,
war. Oh, sorry,
yep, yep. Don't tell that to Chess. She thinks Canada won, so
she'll be the last to know. Don't worry.
that's okay.
She has a
Uh,
different kind of Red Army. Yeah, Stalin won that. Stalin won that by being very clever. He's a military strategic genius, and he's also Stalin was a strategic genius in every other way. The man was an intellectual powerhouse, and it's just a shame that he was a paranoid, delusional, homicidal maniac as well.
yeah, don't
Because
tell
if
the
he,
tankies that.
the tankies don't like that,
I
but
know.
I respect Stalin as an intellect. But as soon as you start killing people, I'm out. You know what I mean?
How dare you be objective? How
Yeah.
dare you?
No,
We're
he's
supposed to glorify these people. What's wrong with you?
if you don't have any respect for human dignity, he was fine.
Yeah, sure.
He was good. He was one of the best leaders of all time. But if you have any respect for human life and dignity, you'll be thinking, now hang on a second. That's where I draw. Like what he did in Poland was the most cynical horseshit imaginable. He
Yeah,
went. The first thing he did is he went in 1930 something and liquidated the entire officer class of the army. Then a few years later, he came in and he said, if you partisans rise up against Germany, we'll come in and support you. And they rose up against the Nazis. He did nothing. He watched them get slaughtered. So by the time Stalin came in to invade Poland a few years later, there was no officer class in the army. All the pilots had moved to England, and pilots meaning the upper aristocratic, whatever the
right.
army has instead of an aristocracy, were gone. And all the people on the ground, the partisans who would fight him, were dead because the Nazis killed them. That's genius. It's long term planning, but it's the most fucked up, cynical shit you will ever
Oh,
hear.
yeah.
Even Genghis Khan wouldn't do something like that. You know,
Yeah, he
no
would have
one.
thought. Yeah, he would have
He
planned
would have
ahead like
told
that.
them. He would have told them in advance,
No.
I'm flushing you out.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, I'm going to come back and destroy the country. That's what Genghis Khan would have done. Well, Stalin did the whole thing in his head. Oh, it's beautiful. It's just, oh,
He
it's
also.
beautiful.
I would also say that the bonus he had was who he was going against, because
Hitler,
Hitler was wonderful at handcuffing his own fucking military
yes.
and just with destroying the logistics, like the
Yeah,
whole railroad thing. Instead of adapting to the railroad system and to getting logistics, getting supplies to his men in
yeah.
Russia, he's like, no, 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 you have to redo it so it could be like the Germans. Like
Hitler,
this
people
fucking
don't
stupid
talk about
shit.
this enough. Hitler was an idiot. They don't
Yeah,
talk about that enough. They don't,
most of the
because,
Nazis actually were. They're I mean, a lot of the Nazis were in charge were idiots. Like everybody keeps talking about like this is just dumb Nazis.
yeah,
No, the fucking Nazis themselves were dumb. If you go and you read about like Nazi Germany, a lot of the Germans are like this isn't really happening, right? These
yeah,
fucking idiots, right? These aren't really fucking ruling us, right? But
yeah.
the difference was that they had smart people in military and other factions that made it work, right?
Yeah, also they were
That
lucky.
made them
Yeah.
survive as long as they did.
They're
So
also very lucky. The Reichstag fire
yes,
was incredibly lucky.
yes,
That was nothing to do with the Nazis, and it was
nope,
incredibly lucky. Also, they had a
nope,
guy called what's his name on staff, Goebbels.
yep,
Goebbels is clever. Goebbels was clever. He was an intellectual man. He was a clever man, but he was the only one who had any brains on the whole
yeah,
staff. Hitler, in particular, was a moron. And people don't talk about this often enough. They say he was a military genius because he kept winning
no.
battles. No, they talk about blitzkrieg as though it was some genius thing. Blitzkrieg is not a genius tactic. Blitzkrieg is bomb the place with airplanes and then roll in the tanks, right? Two sentences is not a genius strategy. It's just because he had big guns. That's not smart. Also, they give him credit. They say the Ardennes thing. You know what he did in the
Right.
Ardennes? They say that's clever, right? Because it worked. It's not clever. It was a really fucking stupid idea. It was incredibly stupid, and it worked just by pure luck. No general in his right mind would have gone through that
Well,
forest. It's
isn't Blitzkrieg?
stupid.
Blitzkrieg wasn't even his idea, right?
No, but it wasn't.
Blitzkrieg wasn't. I don't think was actually his idea, but I think he got credited for it, right?
Well,
Is
the,
that
the point is, it
or
wasn't a clever strategy.
sure? But I'm even saying on that level, right? So I
Yeah.
mean,
Um,
uh,
anything that comes out of Hitler's brain that you can nail down and read about was stupid. And he just got very, very lucky in a number of things. He got incredibly lucky. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you will do the wrong thing and it will work out, even in your personal life. That's happened to me sometimes. You do the wrong thing, that's definitely the wrong thing, and it works out. And if it works out, that doesn't make it the right thing. That just means you got lucky. And the same thing happens the other way around. Sometimes you do the right thing, and hey, Monica, he was a meth head. Hitler, yes, yeah, he was, yeah.
Uh,
Um, the and that's not a joke. His doctor prescribed amphetamines. That's true.
hmm
Um, but sometimes you will do the right thing and everything goes horribly wrong. And the mistake we make then is think, oh, maybe I didn't do the right thing. No, no, no. If you can do the right thing and things can go wrong, as Captain Picard said, that's fine. That doesn't make it the wrong thing. That just means, better luck next time. But you still did the right thing. It took me a while to figure that out, that like just because something works out doesn't mean that I did the right thing. It doesn't like rewrite the script. Like if you're in a car with somebody and they're going too fast and they're nearly crash into somebody, that this has happened to me. A guy was driving too fast and he nearly crashed into somebody, and I was saying, "What the fuck?" And he says, "Oh, look at that." He says, "Now aren't I a great driver?" I said, "No, the opposite. The opposite. The opposite of that. Drive at the correct speed, man. A great driver isn't somebody who drives too fast and gets away with it. That's not what a good
yeah.
driver is. That's a lucky
Uh,
driver."
I'll stop talking about Hitler after this. Did you know about Karl May?
Go on, I don't.
Okay,
I
so
might.
Karl May was he's still big as like an author.
Oh no, I don't
Um,
know. No,
okay, I mean he's dead, but this was back during the time of Germany, even before
I don't know a
Nazis
car
came
may
to
author.
power.
No.
So he wrote about American Indians, okay, or
Yeah.
indigenous folks, without
Yes.
ever being here, without really
Oh, okay.
any other knowledge, but he just pretended he was here,
Love it
right?
already.
He wrote a book. The main character was a guy named Shatterhands, who had this mystical gun that was given to him by an alien,
Brilliant.
and pretty much every episode was at the end. He's getting attacked, and he's like, "Well, what should I do? Oh, I know. I'll use that gun that they gave me." And
Yeah.
this was Hitler's favorite author, and he
Okay.
had all of his books, and he would continually reread them. And anytime, like towards the end, whenever it was pretty obviously that shit was going down and it wasn't going to pan out like they thought, they were coming to him like, what do we need? What should we do? And for him, he was like, "Oh, you just need to read some Karl May. He'll tell you what to do. Just do what
Yeah.
he does."
Yeah.
Yeah,
The magic gun guy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, also, it's not just his military strategy that was poor. Every strategy of Hitler's was poor and stupid. Uh,
yeah.
his domestic policy was incredibly badly thought out. He had this idea that he wanted the regional guys to fight it out amongst themselves to decide who was in charge of the police department. That is probably the worst way to determine how to run a place, is let the guys who want
Yeah.
to fight over it, and then the strongest guy will be on top, and that's good. Like, that's
But
not.
you understand where he got that, right? Because I mean, that's how he kind of came up, right? I mean,
Hmm,
this. I will say this idea of him being a wimp, or I mean, he was fucking on the in the in melees and shit using a fucking bullwhip.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't a coward. He's a piece of shit. Okay, and
Hmm,
I hate to even say anything positive about the man. You know what I
hmm.
mean? But I wouldn't say he was a coward, at least at that point in
Okay.
his life.
Okay.
So
I
I
can
think
accept
that's
that.
where maybe that mentality comes from, right? So just to
Yeah,
beat
but you
them
can't run a
all,
country like that.
no,
You need to have a
no.
civil service, a functional civil service.
But it's weird, like that CEO mentality is
Yeah,
kind of what you see now, and you
yeah,
definitely see with this fucking dickhead cabinet over here, right? He
yeah,
just loves pitting people against each other. Nixon kind of did that too, where he pitted them all
yeah.
against
You
each other.
can't run a country like it's a
No,
company.
no,
Because if a
it's
company goes out of
fucking
business,
bananas.
it doesn't really matter. But if a country goes out of business, people die.
Yep.
Mm.
So where are we
Yeah.
going to invade next? I think that's the
After
real question,
Venezuela,
right?
well, I think Professor Zhang, who I follow,
Okay.
do you know Professor Zhang, the Chinese guy?
No.
Oh, he's in this Chinese high school, and he's teaching his kids geopolitics, and he comes out with the most amazing stuff. He has a whole
Okay.
series on Zionism. He has a whole series on the American superpower and what's going to happen in a Chinese high school, and it's all on YouTube, and it's great. Now, some of the stuff is like big brain, blue sky bullshit, right?
Sure.
But some of the stuff is really good stuff that's just phrased from a Chinese non-Western point of view, and when you hear it phrased in a different way, it's very interesting how it hits you. I'm thinking, oh, I never thought about it like that before. Yeah, like when I saw Al Jazeera reporting on the Iraq invasion, it said the Christian forces are invading. I was thinking, what? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, fair enough, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy, Professor Jang, is his name, and when you watch him, be prepared to listen to some stuff that isn't true. It's definitely not true, but the stuff that is true is interesting. It's
Yeah. I
always
mean, that's.
interesting.
I think that's kind of with everybody, right? You have to
Yeah, but he says
parse
it at the
out the
start.
truth.
He said this might not be true. He said at the start, so that's why I respect him. He said this might not be true or
Yeah.
anything. He said, but I read a load of books recently, and this is what I think about it. and go think for yourselves and see what you think about it. And I like that. I like that about him. He's cool. And sometimes he does like special little videos from his garden or something. I don't know where he is, but he's saying, okay, he says, here's what's going to happen now. He says, America's going to invade Iran because Israel wants them to. They're still pursuing the Greater Israel Project, and they will win. He said they will succeed. He also said Russia's going to win in Ukraine. There's no way. There's no way it can end any other way. He said it's impossible. No matter what way you slice it, Russia's going to win. And he thinks Putin is a
I'm
strategic genius.
gonna butcher this guy's name. Dr. Roy Casangreda. I kind
Go
of
on.
like, I like following his stuff too. He kind of
On
breaks
what?
that. He's a you don't like him or
No,
you
no.
do
On
know him
what?
or
On what service?
he's on YouTube.
Okay.
He's on
Link him
YouTube.
to me in
So
the DMs.
okay.
Thanks.
I like him and I like Chris Hedges. I know some people don't
I've
like
discovered
Chris.
that if Seamus says he likes a guy and he follows his stuff, that he is definitely worth checking out. No
Yeah.
details necessary. Seamus says, "Hey, there's this guy, uh, Jimmy Wing Wang, on
Yeah.
Twitter, and I like
Not
some of his
Jimmy
stuff."
Dore. Not
Okay,
Jimmy Dore.
Tony Wing Wang on Twitter, and he's kind of interesting. He's kind of okay, and then Seamus will go on to something else, and then you check out
Yeah.
this guy's like Twitter. It's the most amazing shit you've ever seen. So if Seamus tells you to go check something out, check that shit out. If I tell you to check shit out, you're going to get about a 50-50 hit rate on whether it's good
Ah,
or not.
bullshit.
But no, your stuff is always like very rooted in proper left wing. Mine is just like sometimes it's just bonkers weird shit that I thought was
Okay.
cool.
Speaking of it, maybe this is what I should put you on the spot, but I'm going to
Go on,
ask you it anyways.
go on.
Chomsky.
Chomsky. What about him?
Yeah. Well, since the Epstein thing, what do you think?
I think here's what we know, right?
Okay.
Here's what we know. Chomsky was photographed not just on an airplane having the laugh, having the bands with Epstein, not
Yep.
just having a laugh with Steve fucking Bannon, enjoying his company, but also we know he lied when he was asked directly about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, to
Yep.
me, you could possibly get away with, you could say they caught him in a weird moment or whatever if he wanted to stretch the truth or whatever. There is no way out for him for lying to the Guardian. There is no way out for him. He said his only connection with Epstein was he got Epstein to arrange the repayment of
Finances.
a
Yep.
debt that his wife owed. That's obviously not true.
Blame it on the wife. That's how it always goes, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
obviously not true.
Yeah.
And the fact that he lied about it makes me think everything else is true too,
Yep.
right? And if that's true of Chomsky, then put him in jail.
Yeah.
Like I think right wingers were talking about Chomsky as if it was a gotcha for left wingers, but they don't understand that we don't have like
Oh,
the same gods that they do.
but there's left wingers that do that too, man. There's a bunch of
Yeah, but
tankies
like
out there that are
yeah,
like,
but
oh, looky, here's Chomsky, anarchist, ha
yeah,
ha ha. And it's like, fuck off. It's
yeah.
like it doesn't mean that what he said in manufactured consent isn't still true.
No.
You know what I mean?
I like the work Chomsky did,
So
and not just that, but his linguistics work. I like the work he did.
yeah,
A lot of the stuff he did in politics was really more of a collation operation because he always quoted his sources,
yeah,
and
and
he said,
not that everything he said was spot on. Some of the shit
"No,
he thought turned out to be bullshit. You're
yeah."
gonna have that.
But I have
So
some of his books. I have a number of his books, Chomsky books actually. And he had, the one he wrote about Israel and Palestine was called The Fateful Triangle. He wrote it in 1981 or 1983, something like that. It's incredibly interesting. It's a very good read if you're into that kind of thing. But personally, if he's a creepy scuzzbucket, then I
yeah,
guess
then fuck
that's
him.
what it is. Then
Yeah,
fuck him.
fuck him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have no. I don't know. I mean, even if something like that happened to a friend of mine, somebody I knew who was a friend of mine, that's it, man.
yeah. It's a
I mean, I
bummer.
can't like. I just got to say goodbye to them.
Yeah,
What the fuck were you doing on that airplane? What the fuck were you
yeah.
doing having a
There's no
laugh with
excuse
Steve
for that.
Bannon? You know. But those photos
Yeah,
are there.
he couldn't feign ignorance because by then he was already charged. He'd already been charged.
Oh,
You
not
know,
just that.
so you can't pretend you didn't know.
Not just that. But if Joe Chomsky's entire gig is knowing about things,
Yes,
his whole gig
yes,
is I know what's happening behind the scenes.
yeah,
And if he said, "Oh, I didn't know about Epstein," I would not believe that for a second. I would say, "Chomsky, sir, you were lying. I respect the work you've done, but don't lie to me. I don't know what you were doing
yeah,
or who you were doing it with, or if you were up to bad business, but not good."
yeah,
That's what I think. That's what I think about the Chomsky.
yeah. I mean, it's just a reminder. You can't put people on pedestals. You know,
No.
it
So
happens over and over again.
Norman
You
Finkelstein's
know,
amazing. Yeah.
you can't do that.
If he turns out to be a pedophile, I'll be very disappointed. I like Norman Finkelstein as well. Yeah, he's great. He's great. Eric von Streiber said he's essentially dead anyway. Yeah, he is. He's close to death, Chomsky. It's going to be a very complicated obituary, isn't it? When they get around to writing it. The death has occurred of Professor Noam Chomsky. So, yeah, Finkelstein's. You know Finkelstein,
I don't.
Seamus, you do.
Oh yeah, I don't think you're gonna find him on the Epstein files list
Dude,
or anything, right?
I can't say that anymore.
Okay, I would be shocked. I would be absolutely
Yeah,
floored about him because
but
I
like,
don't
we
think he
can't.
would associate with him.
Sure.
I don't think he would associate him for political reasons, let alone
Hmm.
anything else. You know what I mean?
I would never have
So
thought that Noam Chomsky and Steve Bannon would be sharing a laugh. Forget about the
yeah,
Epstein stuff. I would never have thought that
that's
Steve Bannon and Noam Chomsky would be sharing a laugh. Were you not surprised when you saw it? Were you
Barry.
not surprised?
Barry, this is why me and you get along because I felt the same fucking this way.
Yeah,
I was like, because I was even thinking like, okay, maybe he was on that plane and it was long before you know any of this was out. You know what I mean? Like nobody knew who Epstein really was. Maybe then again, I found out when that was taken. Blah blah blah. Obviously, so I was
yeah,
like, okay, well, fuck it, whatever. But then I saw Bannon and I was like, oh man, I think that hurts worse.
yeah.
You know?
I know
Yeah,
it seems like an odd thing to say, but I'm glad you're.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fucking
So
wild.
yeah, but I mean, given that most of Chomsky's work involved referring to other work, mainly in Haaretz, other Israeli newspapers, New York Times and Wall Street Journal, and so on, most of his work is referring back to that stuff. That all stuff is solid. And
Yeah,
Manufacturing Consent was, according to Chomsky himself, mainly written by a guy called Ed Herman.
I don't know him.
He's the guy who wrote Manufacturing Consent. And then Chomsky saw it and said, "This is great. Do you mind if I help you write this?" And he said, "No." And uh, he said, "If you put my name on it, it'll sell more," which is true. It did. And the only reason I bought it is because Chomsky had his name on it. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Um, but
boy, I'm an
Chomsky
asshole
thought,
because I've read the book and I didn't even pay attention to doing
no,
something
he says it
else.
in the book. He says
Yeah,
it in the preface to the book or something.
yeah.
And he's always said it
But it's
afterwards.
been so long ago since I read that book. So, but
It's a
still,
great
it's
book.
like, you
Manufacturing
know what I mean?
Consent is still a great book because it's all sourced
Yeah.
to the back. It does throw into doubt any of Chomsky's other opinions that are not sourced, of course, and certainly any opinion he might have on the idea of having sex with girls who are 14 years old. But
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever expressed an opinion on that, and maybe that's for the best.
Well, maybe he was just there for the snorkeling. You know,
For the what?
the snorkeling. I heard it said great snorkeling.
You'd notice a bunch of fucking 14-year-old girls wandering around, wouldn't you? Like, I mean, what's with all these
Not if
fucking
you're out there
kids?
playing with the dolphins. Come on. I
Jesus.
think that's Bill Gates' excuse. He
Uh,
was out there at you know, out there at the Dolphins, man. That's what I was doing.
Chomsky went back to his wife and said, "There sure were a lot of girls selling Thin Mints out there." So
Jesus Christ. Sorry, said
yeah,
Stark. I probably shouldn't make jokes about that, but goddamn.
yeah. I don't know, man. That's
Uh,
Chomsky. He never struck me in any of his work or the exposure I've had to him as a creepy fuck. But if he is, then he is.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
not gonna make excuses for him.
again, not to go back on attack at the Democrats, but where the fuck are they at on this whole Epstein thing? Why aren't they hammering that every fucking day?
They're too busy observing the Venezuela situation.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
Oh, it
What
says here.
was John have to say about this?
I know Finkelstein really looked up to Chomsky. If I think, in fact, Chomsky was one of his professors, yeah, that might be true. But
Yeah,
Pinker
he wouldn't be alone in
Pinker
that, right?
is also in the MIT department of uh, also in the linguistics department of MIT with Chomsky. And I assume Chomsky was one of Pinker's lecturers as well. And Pinker has his own brand of
Oh,
Zionist
Pinkerton, or yeah, well,
Pinkerton,
he's saying Feinstein. Is that or Finkelstein? Is what he
Finkelstein.
just
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but you're talking
Pinker,
about Steven Pinker.
yes, Pinker also
Okay.
works as a linguist in MIT, and so does Chomsky's
Yep.
job as professor of linguistics. And I think Pinker's in there too.
Oh
And
yeah, he definitely
I
is.
assume Pinker then had Chomsky as certainly would have worked with him on various projects because they're in the same department in MIT.
Yep.
And Pinker has his
So is
own.
Lawrence Krauss is also on that list, isn't he?
Wouldn't surprise me. He's had
I
multiple credible
uh-huh.
allegations of sexual harassment from all over the place.
Yep.
I don't know if does Pinker have allegations of sexual harassment against him.
I don't believe before this.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
Neil deGrasse Tyson did, but I don't think he did.
That wouldn't surprise me.
But I don't think Tyson's on the Epstein though.
No,
So Sorry, I'm just thinking of atheists back in the day. Well, actually, sorry,
Yeah,
Tyson doesn't want to be called an atheist
I think there was
anymore.
a no black guys
So
rule on the plane, wasn't there?
I could see that. I could
Yeah.
see that
Oh,
given
by the
given
way,
the people involved.
speaking of no black guys,
So
um, you told me to watch every battle, no battle, too many battles, all the battles.
oh, one battle at a time.
Yes, one battle after another.
Fucking great. One battle
Wait,
after another. That's it.
wait now, don't tell me
Yeah.
anything. I've only watched it
You haven't
half of it.
seen it?
I've watched half of it,
Oh Jesus. Okay.
and I had to
I
stop
will say
because I
no
had to
word.
come back and take care of my dad. So we're going to watch
Okay.
the rest of it at some point, myself and Michelle. But
Nice.
so far, I was worried because the opening 10 minutes have a lot of like weird sex stuff in it, and I was thinking like, oh, is this like going to be the whole movie? But uh, oh,
Yeah.
Hudson
Oh.
deleted his message. Who got to you,
Must
John?
be
Who
bad.
got to you?
The Mossad.
The Mossad. Did you get a phone
Anyways.
call from Mossad? Yeah. So I really like the movie. Yeah, it's lovely, but it's like Paul Thomas Anderson does that. I think he just makes these good, solid American movies, and they're not
Yeah.
complicated, and they're not. You don't have to be like. You don't have to know anything, if I can say that, to just have a good time watching a movie that's good. You know.
Where did you? What point did you stop watching it?
Um,
Do you remember? Do you
they've
recall?
just they've kidnapped the girl out of the high school.
Okay.
Halfway point. And
Okay.
he's
I
useless.
won't
He's
say
a
another
useless
word.
piece of shit. And the girl is kind of taking care of him almost, and the girl is smashing her grades. She's making his dinner, and he's just sitting back being stupid. There was a really funny scene where he was on the telephone. He can't remember the password, and he's like, "Dude,
Oh, dude, it only gets funnier. And Benicio
okay."
Toro comes in. He
Oh,
fucking steals
Venezuela,
every
yeah,
scene he's in.
of
He
course.
steals every scene he's in. He's
Yeah.
fucking great. And
So I'm
fucking
looking forward to that.
Sean Penn is frightening
Oh,
in
a
that
grim,
film.
a grim character so far. A
Yeah,
grim character. Like he's not funny.
he
He's horrifying.
he's funny, but you laugh at him. You know what I mean? And
I
you'll see more. Yeah. Anyway,
oh,
I'll shut up. I don't want to spoil it.
he
I've
strikes
seen
me
it
as
twice. I've seen it twice now, and I can't wait to watch it again. This is honestly, I think since Pulp Fiction, this is probably like the first film that I've really just
oh
loved.
really?
You
Oh,
know what I
that's good.
mean?
It was the number one in many critics' lists.
Yeah. I mean,
Many.
it's fucking great, and I love Paul Thomas Anderson though.
Oh, it's
Have you
fantastic.
seen you? Did you see? Because I
It's
know
not the
you're.
CIA. Sorry, John. I was just
It
joking.
wasn't the CIA. Um,
It was Mossad. Sorry, go on.
the director of Solaris.
Uh,
Uh,
Tarkovsky, Andrei Tarkovsky.
yeah. Did you ever see Andrei Rublev?
No, but it's on
Okay.
my list. I've seen Stalker.
Right. Okay. I love
Yeah,
Stalker too.
yeah, Stalker's great. It's so slow. I love it.
If you in fact watch Andrei Rublev, let me know. Because there's a scene in that movie that I swear inspired something in
Every
There Will
battle.
Be Blood. No,
Okay. Oh,
There Will
there
Be
will be
Blood.
blood. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of
Um,
Andrei Rublev? Marks out of 10 for Andrei Rublev.
uh, man, I think I need to see it again to really get my final.
Okay.
Cinematography wise, for especially when it was filmed, amazing.
No, 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 no.
Like
The movie. As watching the movie. Never mind the
uh,
cinematography. The full movie. Marks out of 10.
out of 10,
Yeah.
7,
Okay.
maybe
And what would you give Stalker out of 10?
9.
Perfect. Okay, thanks. That's all I need to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously, the cinematography. That's a way of saying I didn't really love it. If you say the cinematography was good, it's a way of telling you didn't really like a movie. So
I didn't hate it. Don't get me wrong. I did like the movie,
yeah, you
but
give this.
it was. I mean, all of his movies are 2/3 too long. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but he did like that on
And that
purpose.
one really
Too
drug
long.
on.
Okay, but he did that on purpose.
And at points, it really did not need to be.
Yeah,
Um,
he knows.
yeah, I understand. I understand that,
Solaris,
but it just
Solaris was
with
too
that
long.
one, it just seemed like yeah. Just with that one, there was no. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it still worked. The same thing with Stalker. They
Okay.
both worked. Where this was just, come on, man, just all right, get on with it. What is it? Yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
the Monty Python, get on with it, right? You know, I'm
Yeah.
like halfway through it, I'm like, yeah, but there is a scene in it that, yeah. Anyways, I'm most of my uh, yeah, my contributions tonight are just babbling about films and stuff. Sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
folks.
Well, we're here to
So
talk about Venezuela, and we're also going to discuss
yeah,
our top five favorite Venezuelan movies made by Venezuelan movie directors.
uh,
Seamus, I believe you will
I
start.
I don't know any. I
Jorge
don't think I know
Garcia's
any.
Jorge Garcia's The Paradise Within.
Don't know that one.
Maria Conchita Consuela Fernanda uh, Gonzalez, uh, That's it. I'm done. I'm done making up names and dates. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like reading a list off of Google. You
No,
had
no,
me
no.
going for a
Just
second.
making up
Okay.
names, and that was probably racist, but it's okay. I'm allowed to be racist sometimes.
Yeah, you're Irish. That gives you a pass, right?
And the one time I wasn't racist, the one time I wasn't racist, our mutual friend, and Seamus was in that meeting too. Our friend said you cannot broadcast that podcast. Do you remember the lawyer
I'm stumped.
for the
Oh,
Israel?
that low. Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that. Okay,
Our
yeah.
friend,
Sorry.
our mutual
I
friend,
thought
who
we were
said,
talking about our previous. I thought we were talking about our previous podcast, so that's what made me
no, no,
think.
this is the one that never broadcast. And the one time I wasn't
So,
racist at all, I'm not allowed because it will
uh-huh.
destroy the universe apparently, and we'll get delisted, and no one, our whole thing will get shadow banned, and no one will ever be able to see our videos again. So, and they won't tell us about it either. YouTube will just do it automatically. Bonita
They're
Chihuahua.
like that. They're
Mm.
like that.
So yeah, that's why we're here today to talk about Venezuela. And then, is
Yep.
there anything else we need to say about Venezuela before
I don't
we
know.
leave
Yeah,
here?
I realized we've been
Evan's going to
going
roll
on
in
for
about
an
this.
hour.
Evan
So,
is going to roll in now, and he'll be like, "What the fuck is this? The end?" Yeah, so, sorry, man. We're live. We are live.
yeah,
If you're just joining us because you're expecting us at 11, we are live. We've been live for an hour, and y'all going to have to watch
and,
the whole thing from the start.
and we're also a week off from when we usually drop, which we.
Yeah,
So the Israel thing, the holiday thing, that's
that's
kind of
gone, man. The Israel
yeah,
episode's gone. That's not going to happen. So we will
yeah.
not be doing that in 2 weeks. Or if we are, it'll be a different
Uh,
Israel episode where I'm
yep.
not actually making fun of them.
So speaking of, in 2 weeks, we either be doing a jib jab,
Yep.
or if you come up with the CIA thing, between now and the time we, excuse me, normally
Realistically, I
record.
don't see that happening. Realistically,
Okay, so we'll be doing a jib jab.
yeah. Well, there's a reason. There's
Um,
two reasons why. One
yeah.
is I will be trying to retool that podcast script into an article, and I'll be trying to sell it. It's going to take work because I'll have to take out all the snark and all the sarcasm, which is, as you know, my episodes are pretty much entirely that. So I'm going to have to rejig the whole thing. And also, I'm trying to going to get a book I wrote unconnected with any of this. I'm trying to get that published as well. So I have to go and do a few things about
Oh,
that.
do you want to pitch your book for a minute?
No,
Oh, come on.
if I
What's up
get
now?
if I get a publishing deal, I'll talk about it. All right.
Okay.
It's nothing to do with this. You guys will all find it incredibly
So,
boring. I promise. It's just a story about a guy and a girl in a relationship that fell apart. That's it.
so what? Pitch it by all means.
That's it. And every relationship I've ever been in, there's a little bit of it in the book.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. But if it gets a deal, everybody's going to know about it everywhere. I promise you. It'll be on my bloody banner, profile picture, and everything, pinned post. Right. But until then, it's just a story.
Yeah, I'm still working on my book about a young guy and his dog, and they travel from town to town trying to get
Maybe
beer.
tomorrow. Trying to get beer.
You know? Yeah, yeah,
That's a Disney movie, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Sponsored by Buzzweisers.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. Thanks, John. That's it. That's our show.
yay,
And I will
we
say
made it.
good luck to the people of Venezuela. I wish you nothing but the very best. Things aren't going to go well for you. We both know that, but I still
No,
wish the very best for you. And I hope you manage to survive this incredibly rocky period. And I know you've had a really hard time over the last X number of years. We saw the empty shopping center shelves in the last, and it was depressing. And I hope things work out for you guys. I really do, because you deserve to control your own resources. That's it.
absolutely.
We are gone, and we will see you in two
All
weeks,
right,
guys.
folks. Bye.